People who get told they look younger than they are. What is your secret? Story 1. My mom uses a parasol in strong sunlight. People look at her weird, but parasols were a thing in many societies. She's got the skin of a woman half her age. Story 2. Genetics and being short. I have a full 50-50th split between my mother and father in my face, and both of them were often clocked as younger than they are. And I'm short, also petite in fashion, with a soft gamine body. So my overall essence is that of youthfulness. For example, verified soft gamines are Clara Bow, Reese Witherspoon, and Judy Garland. All of them, when you look at them, don't have maturity in their 20s because their particular essence of body lines, shape, and facial structure lends to being a petite powerhouse. Story 3. Several factors have helped me maintain a youthful appearance. Drinking lots of water. Minding your own business. You don't have to give your opinion on everything. Starting a skincare routine at a young age. I started skincare in 5th grade. Eating a balanced meal. Some may disagree, but having junk food once in a while will not hurt you. I don't keep any at home, but if I'm at a gathering and someone brings Doritos, I'll have some. I don't smoke, and I only drink wine when I'm out with friends. Genetics. Story 4. I'm about to turn 30, but most people think I'm about 22/23. I think it's mostly genetics, but I also had incredibly greasy skin when I was younger, and my facialist once said that I would be happy when I'm older because I'd have less wrinkles. So maybe moisturizer and facial oils are the key, but also 30 is not really that old. I think once I'm 35 and start to see the signs of aging, being told I look 23 might mean a bit more, but in reality, in your 20s, I don't think aging has really kicked in yet. Story 5. I am 38. Got carded when I traveled to the USA recently, haha. People usually guess my age around 28, 30. I never smoked and apparently have good genes. On my mom's side, most of the females still look very young. I still don't have any wrinkles in my face yet. I do have to dye my hair though. It started to turn gray when I was 26. Story 6. Funnily enough, only yesterday, a guy showed up at my door for some charity thing and wondered if I was old enough to do it if I wanted to, 18. I'm in my 30s, LOL, but nobody believes me when I tell them my actual age. But I don't do anything special whatsoever. I smoke. I have little to no interest in skin products or whatever. It's just genetic, I think. It runs in my family. We all look young. Story 7. Everyone over the age of 30 gets told that they do not look their age. I am a part of a couple skincare 30-plus subreddits, and it's this constant circle jerk of people who look their age, but think they look so much younger because they lack the self-awareness to realize this fact. I use CeraVe, Snail Mucin, Aquaphor, castor oil, tretinoin, and I bathe in a vat of sunscreen, and everyone is so surprised that I tell them my real age because they all think I'm 22. Bro, no one, and I mean no one, thinks you're 22. There are very, very few people who actually look 10, 20 years younger than they actually are, and you're probably not even close to being one of them. And that's a good thing. I am 36. And if I am around a bunch of 22-year-olds for any reason, I am very acutely aware of the fact that I am a lot older than these people. Story 8. To be honest with you, I've got no fucking idea. I eat trash, I drink heavily, I haven't had the desire to exercise in nearly 4 years, and I'm stressed to fuckery. Honestly, I think I only look young and get IDD codes of trauma. I think I ended up era-locked both mentally and physically from all the shit I had to go through. I feel like I'm era-locked in my early 20s, but my mother thinks I'm era-locked at 18. She herself hasn't changed over the last 20-ish years. She doesn't look youthful, but she hasn't aged a day since I was a kid. Story 9, 8 hours of sleep each night and moisturizer. Not having kids and cutting toxic people out of my life helps a lot too, but I feel like those things are the reason I can easily get 8 hours of sleep. Story 10, I'm 62 and still don't have any gray hair. Literally would be 45 and get carded in bars. A big part of it is the luck of the genetic draw. My mom is 92 and could pass for 75, so there's that. At the same time, another part of it is taking care of oneself. If you don't want to look old before your time, don't take up smoking, use sunscreen, watch what you eat, and get regular exercise. I don't mean to work out 2 hours a day or anything. Just respect your body. Don't wave the surrender flag when it comes to the clothes you wear. I mean, I don't wear the latest and greatest, and I certainly don't subscribe to clothing fads, but wearing something that looks current. Story 11. I'm 31 and get told I look 25 at most. I think it's because I don't have kids. Like, I know a lot of hot moms, but if I look at all the pretty it girls I went to high school with, they significantly got less attractive after having kids. From their skin, to their weight, to even how they dress. They dress outdated to me. I'm also 5 feet tall, which helps. I work out, I'm vegan, I don't smoke, and have a pretty decent skincare routing. Story 12. Genes 100%. And now that I'm in my late 40s, I don't look as young anymore. but consistently throughout my life, people have genuinely thought I was way younger. And my 76 mom could easily pass for in her 50s. My sister also looks very young for her age. Story 13. Almost 53. No smoking or drinking, no makeup. Ever. Plenty of sleep. Not much of a water drinker. Rooibos tea with honey and lemon. South African here. Actually, no stress marks on body as well. Probs due to genetics. Very sporty. Basketball or any rough sports with my boys. Have a relatively good body as well. Story 14. Genetic. For the record, I smoked for over 2 decades. Just quit this year. I don't always wash my face from makeup at night. I don't follow a strict skincare regimen. No sunscreen. I don't work out. I'm naturally lean and have a younger face. Life sucks, I know. The genetic lottery and all. I'm 43F and been told I look late 20s or early 30s. Story 15. Pretty sure my undiagnosed Ehlers-Danlos syndrome, which I inherited from my mom, along with her ADHD and my dad's autism. Plus, my autism makes me make less facial expressions in general, as this one time when I was 19, my grandma drilled it into my head that I have to always relax my face or I will get wrinkles. But it's mostly genetic, and I'm 99% sure I have Ehlers-Danlos syndrome. I bruise super easily, and it's getting so much worse the older I get. I have super thin upper lip and thin nose and small earlobes, so I match the criteria, including the thing where the thumb can bend to touch the forearm, etc. Story 16. First of all, Mediterranean genetics. Secondly, an Accutane course at a young age. Thirdly, daily morning skincare involves 2 layers of sunscreen moisturizer, hands, neck, and face, and minimal makeup. Evening, every other day, involves an oil-based cleanser, a water-based cleanser, witch hazel for toner, then moisturizer. Story 17. I get mistaken for late 20s, early 30s all the time. Male. Sunscreen is 1000% a must. Guys, you need a skincare routine. It's not just for women. Sleep. We don't have kids, and every single one of my friends with kids ages way faster. It has to be due to lack of sleep. I realize you can't control kids if you choose to have them, but the lack of sleep and years of sleep deprivation takes a huge toll on your body. No smoking of any kind, no weed, no vaping, no cigs. Limit booze. Stop eating like shit. Try to consume as little foods from packages as possible. Eat foods with very deep and vibrant colors like red cabbage, beets, berries, sweet potatoes, etc. You must eat 30+ g of fiber per day. Stop eating so much meat and eat fish instead. Nuts, beans, and legumes are a must. I make sure I eat some kind of raw nuts every single day. Almonds, walnuts, hazelnuts, pistachios, or cashew. Exercise daily. I hate working out, but still do it 5 to 6 days per week for 60, 90 minutes per day. Break it into 2 sessions if you have to. Story 18. Sunscreen, good hat. I live in Queensland, Australia, the literal skin cancer center of the world. I've worked predominantly outdoors and have played competitive sport and am now early 40s. I have slightly olive skin, so get a mild tan. I've been ruthless with these 2 habits since I was a kid. By all metrics, I ought to have handbag leather skin, but somehow it's still decent, and it is mentioned regularly. Lucky genetics a bonus. I'm certain if I lived anywhere in Europe, Canada, I'd still look 17. Story 19. Genetics. I still get eyed at 31. I look like my mom, and she was much the same at my age. I don't do anything particularly noteworthy. I'm slim, but my fitness routine consists of walking the dog 1 hour or so a day. I try to eat healthy-ish, but I don't restrict. Not a massive sweet tooth, so I'm sure that helps. I try to get 7-8 hours sleep. Don't wear makeup super often. Skincare routine is practically non-existent. Live in a country where we don't get a whole lot of sunshine. Story 20. This isn't mine, but a friend I know who gets told that a lot said the only thing they do that might be abnormal is a few times a day they splash cold water on their face over a sink and then dried it with a towel. And they particularly always made sure to do it before going to bed. They never used moisturizer at all. But honestly, it's probably just genetics and diet. Story 21. I'm 22, Indian female, and I always get mistaked for someone still in school or 11th. I think it is because I have a round face with not so sharp features that'll make me look matured. Another thing is your attitude also matters. I like to be childish and chill out. I have a childish slapstick humor as well. Story 22. I don't give a lot of fucks. I'm nice, but I'm not a good person. This has allowed me to float under damn near everybody's radar, which is okay because I never look to do wrong by anyone. My friends think this is a hilarious facet of my life because they get pissed, for fun, when people praise me in public, LOL. I just choose myself before everyone else, therefore, fountain of youth lily. Story 23. I'm in my mid-40s and often get told I look 10 years younger. I avoid the sun for the most part, work in an office. I don't sunless tan, smoke, do drugs, and only drink occasionally. I have blue eyes, so sunglasses even on a cloudy day. Within the last 5 years, I've only started a skincare routine which includes sunscreen daily. I drink lots of water, rarely any soda, and my diet is low in animal protein. It's genetics. Story 24. I started using sunscreen on my face in my early 20s. I'm almost 60 and look 20 years younger than my spouse, who is only 2 years older than I am. I don't drink alcohol or do drugs. I lap swim for an hour 5 times a day. Nonetheless, I think it all boils down to genetics. My mom looked very young her whole life, and my husband's father looked old at 40. Story 25, genetics. And more precisely, a genetic condition that messes with my joints but does wonders for my skin. I have Ehlers-Danlos syndrome, and people with this condition tend to look younger than we are because our skin is more elastic, so wrinkles start appearing later than for most people. Also, in order to not get more joint pain, we are encouraged to remain thin, which is another factor that helps keeping a youthful look for longer. Story 26. Diet, exercise, lifestyle, and before grad school and working life, proper amounts of sleep. Being a vegan that didn't smoke and slept 8 hours every night meant that when I was 36, I looked 30 and dated a 23-year-old. Now, post-grad school and working life, and with the last N years of endless stress from housing and food insecurity, I'm in my 40s and look like I'm in my 40s and I'm dating no one. Story 27. I don't know. I'm starting to look more my age, 36. But until I was about 33, I would still get carded when buying alcohol. Where I am in Canada, they have to card you if you look under 21. So that was pretty nice, lol. I still find that if I smile and look generally happy, people assume I'm younger, ha ha ha. If I let my RBF shine, I don't get carded. So apparently it's happiness that makes us seem younger than we are. Story 28. Genetics is top reason why. But here's things you can do. Get in shape and be active. Drink water regularly. Take care of your skin and moisturize daily. Cut back on smoking and drinking, or if you want can stay sober, but overall keep it to a dull roar. Sleep. In general, just take better care of yourself and practice good hygiene. Make that routine for yourself and keep it going forever. Genetics are definitely going to play a huge role, obviously, but these are some pretty basic things. You'd be surprised how many folks don't do any of this stuff and wonder why they look and feel terrible. Story 29. There's no replacement for genetics. Plus, I'm mixed race, so people are probably a little unsure to start with. One of those races is known for looking young. The other side of the family tends to go gray slowly and typically does not go male pattern bald. I don't drink enough water or get enough sleep, but I do stay out of the sun, I use facial soap, and I don't drink much alcohol, that's all. Genetics. The lottery is everything. Story 30. Genetics, sunscreen, general sun avoidance, constant moisturizing skincare routines, a younger aesthetic, hair, fashion, etc., and avoiding alcohol, smoking. However, what I assume works in my favor are a few things like my short stature, colorfully dyed hair, and having exaggerated cartoonish facial features. For example, I have large eyes. I can't really describe it. I am 34, but people frequently assume I'm 10 years younger. Story 31. For me, it's actually sad. I live and work in a very poor community. Most of my neighbors have to work several jobs and have kids. I work one job with kids, and none of my own. The kids find out I'm the same age as their mom, and freak out telling me I look 15 years younger. They're not wrong, but that's just privilege doing its thing, hun. I get a few hours every day to work out and eat well and do therapy, etc. I sleep 8 hours every night. I earn enough money to live a very basic but comfortable middle-class life. My basic needs are fulfilled, even if my life isn't the tiniest bit fancy. I love my life and don't have any major sources of conflict or extreme stress. Most of my neighbors are not afforded these basic privileges. Relative to my neighbors, I look young. Story 32. I'm 51 and can pass for 30s. I'm a redhead, so I stay out of the sun. It's rare that I wear makeup or use lotions. I have sensitive skin. I was in the Marine Corps for 16 years, so lots of exercise and water. I wasn't into drinking alcohol and didn't do drugs. I don't eat a lot of meat and like to juice. I've gone 3 months on an all-raw vegan plan that was life-changing and made me feel like I was 20 again. Story 33. Younger, maybe a little, but basically get told I look very good for my age. And though I'm not gorgeous, I don't look as old as most of my classmates from back in the 80s. I'm 58. It is partly down to genetics, but I put a heap of it down to me not being a sun worshiper like most of my generation, or a smoker. So my skin is still reasonably smooth and supple for almost 60 years of careless wear and tear. It's getting thin in places and loose in others, but as a whole it's still hanging together okay. Story 34. Well, I'm only 32, but people always tell me I look 25. I attribute it to a strict skincare regimen. I always wash my face at night with a gentle cleanser. I do a glycolic acid treatment one night, Niacinamide the next night, salicylic acid the next night. Take one night off of treatments, moisturizer only, and then repeat the cycle. I think everyone has unique skincare needs, but exfoliation and moisturizing are important for everyone. I found the chemical exfoliants like I listed above work way better than physical ones. Story 35 sunscreen. Cool/room temp showers in the summer and after workouts, round face, youthful clothing, hairstyles, large framed glasses, eating lots of vegetables, not tanning in the sun, avoiding outdoor activities when the sun is the highest, staying in the shade at that time. Clear, smooth skin, basically. Story 36, 28M. I shave daily, use moisturizer, still have acne. Most of all, though, it's probably the moderate, now medicated, ADHD. There's a body of research that indicates that people with attention deficit disorders tend to socially mature more slowly than their normally developing peers, somewhere close to 30% more slowly, and present as emotionally younger, immature as a result. I'm also working through a second bachelor's degree. I've got 8 years of undergrad under my belt, but I'm around young adults, 18, 22 day in, day out, and haven't properly started my career yet. So I have that eternal student vibe going and relate better with people in that age bracket. Story 37, genetics, and putting sunscreen on my face whenever I leave the house during daylight hours. Sun damage is the main thing that makes your face look old. So unless you have very dark skin, you should wear sunscreen if you want to stay young looking. All other aspects of skincare are like 10% of the battle, yet many people ignore the 90% aspect. Story 38. To all the people who keep mentioning what age they've gotten carded as proof that they look young, that means nothing. It's the law to check ID, and when I'm serving alcohol, I card every single person. I probably know exactly how old you are, but ask anyway because I card every single person, every single time. There are things in place that allow us not to have to card if someone is clearly well above drinking age, but I'm a stickler and don't want to lose a liquor license, so I card everyone, even those who are obvious senior citizens. A better gauge would be how often it is that people are surprised to hear your age because they had thought you were 10, 20 years younger. Story 39. I'm only 22, but I get told I look 18/19ths very often, which isn't much of an age gap. But I guess a couple things is that I drink lots of water every day. It's the only beverage I ever drink, really. Try not to eat a lot of highly processed things and get a healthy amount of sun. I'm also pretty sure it's genetic, LOL. My mom and grandma both look younger than what their actual age is, haha.